And hello, everyone. Greetings again. We are back again for another podcast. I'm your host, the Old Hunter, as usual, and here are my two co-hosts, the same as usual.
Hello, everyone. I'm Darc Soul VA here. It's a pleasure being back. Sorry for all the inconvenience, but yeah, I'm here for a few more days, and I'm so glad to be here.
Well, hello. Knight of Green here, dinosaur and Soulsborne martial arts YouTuber. Really excited, just celebrated hitting 1K subs on YouTube, so...
And congratulations. Before you say, could you retweet the tweet I sent out to my friend so that way more people could see us?
Okay. Sorry, but they posted on Twitter that much, so...
Yes,
I'll see.
But yes, congratulations, my friend, on hitting that 1,000 subscribers. I hope one day to get there myself.
Yeah, congrats, man.
You will, don't worry. Yeah, but thank you.
And so, we're going to be talking about two things today. First one is basically the old show that I reviewed 3 episodes of because I couldn't watch anymore, High Guardian Spice. I'm looking forward to that again. Basically, the director has come out with a few tweets. We're going to be talking about this. And if she sees this, by any chance she will, she's going to probably block me on Twitter.
That's one way of getting...
Not my loss.
Exposure's...
Yeah, so... Alright.
Alright, so here are the tweets. And I believe, how do you pronounce her name? Ray Rodriguez?
Rodriguez. Ray Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez.
She's got like 12 tweets on this one, so we'll just see how this goes.
So basically, she starts off with, High Guardian Spies had a very small budget. We were the first show of a non-union studio. If you're mad at the animation quality, it was the budget. BG art, budget, writing, budget. We literally started storyboarding the first episode before the first script was finished.
Okay.
So,
go on. Go and say what you're going to say.
All right. So when we inevitably ran into problems, all productions do, we didn't have the time or money to slow down and fix them. We had to barrel forward and make do with what we had.
Okay, I got some things to say. If you've got a small budget, wouldn't you try to... How do I put this? Try to help me out, too.
Is it something with crowdfunding?
No, this was an original... This show was funded by Crunchyroll. This was a Crunchyroll original series. I'm using the term original very loosely because it feels like a hodgepodge of different ideas just Frankenstein together. You know that story, Little Witch Academia? I actually want to review it. Well, think of that.
Yes.
Think of that, but set in a proper fantasy world.
Oh boy.
No, I saw the animation for that show, and it looked horrendous. Like, really, really horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Think it like this. You know how basically, the first episode's always a little rough, because first-time animation. Some shows like The Dragon Prince, I liked it. First episode animation really hurt my eyes, but I powered on through.
Yep.
Well, think of it like stretched out probably for 3 episodes straight because I didn't go past number 3. I know, that's unprofessional of me, but there's only so much horribleness I can take before I just shut off in disgust and thinking I'm tired. And also, if you're going to have a budget issue, shouldn't you plan according to that budget? I feel like because you know what? You wouldn't believe me. Stock images?
Yeah.
Stock images.
Yes, they used it several times.
Oh no!
Yes. There was actually a glaring post of a lamppost that was photo paste right onto the animation. It stuck out like a sore thumb.
Were the watermarks there?
Yep.
That's sad.
Boy.
Yeah.
So let me actually dissect her initial post and then breaking it down. So here's the thing. You're complaining about it being a small budget, but here's the thing. You're essentially saying, oh, because we had a small budget, we couldn't do what we want. well, did you guys? Well, this is going to sound like redundant, but did you budget your budget well?
Probably not, considering how horrible the animation was.
But here's the thing, though, is that I think people are complaining about. I think most people aren't complaining so much about the animation. I think it's more so about the dialogue and the writing. I think that seemed to be more of the heavy complaints.
No, the animation. No, it's not the dialogue. That's a whole separate issue. The voice acting as well. It's just the animation looks horrendous. I had a friend who was basically a YouTube animator. His work is better than whatever they come up with.
Wait a minute. Does your friend do rotoscope? Would you mind doing a fake commission?
I'll contact him for you. Okay, I'll talk about that. Is that cool?
Free promotion! Yay!
Yes, my friend. Anyway, the point is saying he does YouTube projects, but they look a lot better than whatever Spice has. But anyway, we shall continue.
And the tweets continue on. People compare HGS to anime because it's on CR, but it isn't It isn't anime. Okay, so it's a cartoon made with the same pipeline as any other American cartoon. Our budget was comparable to a CN show, which are usually 11 minutes long and are comedy-centered and have much simpler BGs and characters.
I have several issues with that. One, I remember several good Cartoon Network shows when I was a kid, like Johnny Bravo, the Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog, A+ on that one. And what else? You know what? Even the lowest Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Scooby-Doo were actually better. And they reused a lot of animations. And I mean a lot. But so then what? Oh my god, they're saying our budget was comparable to a CN show?
A Cartoon Network show.
They were
Which
Cartoon
Network show are we talking about now? Which show?
They don't specify. They just say Cartoon Network show. Which are usually 11 minutes long. Yes, Powerpuff Girls was 11 minutes long, 11 minutes one episode, then they had a separate episode and a non-continuing episode, so on and so forth. You know, that was the old formula back in the early 2000s.
Yes.
But the thing is, they actually planned how they would do it, and the animation still looked decent. Anyway.
It's a real shame. A real shame.
And the fact that she says people compare High Guardian Spice to anime because it's on Crunchyroll. Last time I checked, I know there were rare exceptions like Ruby's on Crunchyroll, but isn't it Crunchyroll mainly an anime studio, an anime streaming service?
Yeah, call me crazy, but yes.
Anyway, continue on.
It's not anime because it's on an anime platform. So how's that hole you're digging? Is it deep enough?
I don't think she's done yet. Continue.
Oh boy. Really the best show to compare HGS to is Onyx Equinox, our sister show and the only other show made at the same studio as HGS.
I've never heard of Onyx Equinox. Have you?
No.
Okay, you know what? I want to actually look this up. Can I look this up really quick? Onyx Equinox. So, Onyx Equinox. So...
Oh, that show! I didn't watch it. I've seen it on Crunchyroll, but I paid it no mind. I just didn't think it was...
yeah, I'm still drawing a blank.
Yeah, I've seen it on Crunchyroll, but I've never watched it. Never really crossed my mind to watch it anyway. Let's see. Let's get back to the tweet.
Alright, so Onyx Equinox had... Onyx Equinox had the advantage of learning from mistakes made on HGS and being union, but it was a lot of the same team and the same pipeline.
So you're telling me that you had the same team that worked on the previous show, that learned their mistakes from that show, and you didn't think that transferred the mistakes you've learned from that to this?
Nope.
I thought the point was that every show is supposed to be better than the last one. You know what I mean? I know it doesn't come in set. I know it's not always the case, but I thought the point is you learn mistakes from the previous one to make the next one better.
Yes, that's usually the standard.
Correct.
You
Call me crazy if you want. Anyway, next.
Yeah. So it basically says here that what we were trying to make was incredibly ambitious for what we were working with, and we did the best we could. Maybe in another timeline, HGS would have gotten the budget and schedule it needed to reach its full potential. I think the problem is that you were lacking. Sorry, not sorry. And it also continues on right here, and also in another timeline, maybe HGS wouldn't have been roped into the culture wars from its first trailer and marked as bad years before it came out, but alas, this is the timeline we're in, and all I can do is shout about it on Twitter. Seems to be a recurring theme, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. She just doesn't own up that her show was bad. She owns up that her show was bad, but she then quickly says, well, all I can do is just complain about it. Then learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Even the people that were making the Sonic movie learned up from the mistakes and cleaned up their act.
Yes, when they first revealed who Sonic was, what it looked like, everybody rightly complained because it looked horrendous, and we could all agree it was.
Yeah, it was.
Uncanny Valley, but after they learned from the criticism...
Uncanny Valley!
but once they learned... But once they learned from the mistakes, they redesigned Sonic to look more traditional, and everybody was happy.
And also, I will just say, out of auto topic, I think Jim Carrey in that movie was great.
Jim Carrey is a fun actor.
Yes, he's an amazing actor.
Anyway, continue.
So it also states right here that instead of piling onto the HGS's trash campaign, maybe think about what happened behind the scenes to make it that... Okay. Oh, boy. So it then continues on saying having empathy for the real human beings who did their best working on it and think critically about who started this hate campaign in the first place.
First impressions mean everything. When people saw the trailer, everybody said it looked ugly.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did she was making a complaint about this, but now she made a full 180 saying that it was technically our fault for hating on this. I'm sorry. This is... Oh, boy. How do I say this?
Is there any more replies to this? Because I have a feeling it's going to continue on for a bit longer. Oh, no, that's it.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's basically about it.
So, let's talk about this for 2 little seconds, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about this.
So you're telling me that she basically... Hold on 1 second.
There's a lot of things to say, and I'm really, really hesitant to say them. Because I'm trying to be on neutral grounds here.
So, feel free to say it, because I made my whole criticism of the series when it came out. You know, people are going to flack on me saying I hate on the bandwagon. I kept my mind opened. Despite everything going against my common sense, I just said, you know what? I'm not going to listen to people who say, oh, you just hate it. You're just going to hate it because it's the haters. I literally just thought to myself, you know what? I'm basically going to stand back and just have an opinion on it. I'm just not going to have an opinion on this. Why?
Mm-hmm.
On it. That isn't why. Because I feel like you got to have a neutral terms when you're dealing with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, sorry.
Do you have anything to add on the screen?
It just, honestly, I just think that people just don't know to take accountability anymore. And I feel like if someone just takes a step back and just says, okay, this is what I could have done differently, instead of blaming every other factor around you, I think, we would be in a more reflective society. But
the fact that she just basically just said, yeah, we made a shit program, I'll say, yeah, I made a bad show. We'll see what we can do improvement. I would respect her for a bit more on this one, but for Frank, the fact that she's just trying to make excuses left, right, and center, saying, "Oh, it's the people's fault for not liking it before it came out," or, "Sure, there are people who are gonna hate. I'm never gonna deny that. The haters are gonna hate no matter what you do." But you should also take some of that criticism and maybe look at also some positive comments, but see if there's any criticisms to those positive comments. Like maybe it doesn't look right, or maybe the animation looks a little rough, which it does. People always people say to me, people did tell me that it does get better. Like, I remember someone named Rev something, basically said that the first 3 episodes are basically 1 out of 10, but as it continues on, it goes about 4 to 5.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go against that, saying that it should be a good one. It should hit at least 4 or 5 from the beginning. You know what I mean?
And then
Yeah, I get what you mean. Boy, oh boy.
She just...
Well, yeah.
I don't know what to say, frankly. This is just basically like the points of... how do I put this? I really don't know much to say because she's... I don't really have much to say because, I miss the... call me nostalgic, but I miss when cartoons were somewhat decent. It had unique animations for the day instead of everything looks like that's really soft, weird animation. You know what I mean?
Yes, I totally get what you mean. There was a lot of variety back in the day, but now it seems people are not wanting to try as hard enough because they're not willing to take enough risk and such, which is a real shame because most of the risks, we came out with amazing things. Like, for an example, I'll go and use a movie for an example, The Dark Knight. That was a huge risk, but it turned out amazing.
We don't even have to go full budget movies. Let's take the original Batman animated series, the Superman animated series, the Justice League series, and Batman Beyond. Personally, I find Batman Beyond the best of all of them.
Yes, Batman Beyond is an amazing example. They took a huge risk and that they made themselves and just turned into something that everyone could have sort of enjoyed. And I mean, I'm really, really a big fan of Batman Beyond, but it's just a sad thing because most of the shows nowadays are just not willing to take enough big risks.
Well, there are some shows like Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, but my criticism is that the animation kind of blends together. They have interesting stories. Yeah, regular show I've watched with a friend. I feel like it's literally the creators having a little bit on high on something. 90% of the time. And yes, it has a wacky animation, but it just looks... Is it me? Okay, exception with some odd exceptions, but a lot of animation seems to be too soft. You know what I mean? There's not like...
yes, they're not willing to take enough... angles. I get what you mean. They're just too soft.
No, not in the sense of thematic. Sure, they do... A lot of stories do tackle dark themes. Gravity Falls, for example, does lots of dark themes. And Steven Universe, a lot of themes that are very mature and talking. But I'm in the sense that Gargoyles, Batman Beyond, Justice League, Courage, they actually had some... Remember Gargoyles? Anybody here?
Yes, Gargoyles, the famous line of the jalapeno. Yes, I know.
I love the series. It was dark. It was thematic. It was mature. It was well written.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like to me it's just that it's just that for me it's just that they just don't know when to deal with situations like this, and because of that maybe I'm a nostalgic for the early noughts, that I just miss old TV shows like those. Come on, what's your favorite TV show?
Oh, this is a tough one. Other than Batman Beyond, I would have to say the old times of either, I would say, a kid-friendly show, as in like the old SpongeBob during the old seasons and such, and we're talking about more on my TV shows. I would have to say
Fine Line. Like, I watched Old Spun. I was like, dang, I didn't know this was comedy. Like, I'm just watching it as a dumb kid, and I was like, oh, this is good. But then you're an adult. You're like, dang, this is gold. Like,
I like, Invader Zim. I remember that.
Oh, yes, Invader Zim. That's a good one. Yes,
come
Invader
on.
Zim.
I was literally petrified when I sometimes think, was I really old enough to watch Invader Zim when I was a kid? Like,
I felt with Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I was rewatching that. There's so much stuff happening here. Are these people okay who made this show?
Billy and Mandy. This video is the biggest load of hoo-ha!
I love Billy and Mandy. I just love it. It was like my. Oh, just a quick side note. Remember that little meme where it was grim and light?
Oh, boy.
Sorry, that's just. Again, my complaint. I miss the days when cartoons were basically at least somewhat looked more unique. But here I go
Yeah.
for just nostalgia for the nuts for the early aughts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh come on, even like oh come on, even some old Disney shows like American Dragon, loved it.
Jake Long.
Yep,
I don't
that
know.
one.
I was about to say, Lilo and Stitch, that TV show when they're wrangling all the experiments. That was my jam.
I really I remember watching. I remember watching it a lot, and I remember watching the final movie. I didn't watch the Stitch anime though. I really did watch that one.
Uh, let's just say the anime Stitch sort of like degresses as a character and becomes more like how he is in the first movie, just kind of like a chaotic, I wouldn't say neutral, like a chaotic, like evil type of character. He's more like that in the anime. Kind of loses a lot of character progression.
That's sad because I thought he was mature and change.
No, he kind of is. Eh.
I'm frowning if you can tell. I'm frowning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my biggest takeaway from Ray Rodriguez. I would say just always try to do your best and try to make sure that a show has its own identity. And if you were trying to really do what you thought we're doing, then go all the power to you. But just know that the criticism that people have say, while rude and such, try to look at the very positive side of that and try to think of why they would actually say it without having any emotion to it.
Oh, I was also
That's usually, which is I know is very hard, but just at least maybe that would help you in the near future. But nevertheless, good luck on the show. And
before you sign off, I still have one or two things I forgot to mention. Remember voice acting?
voice acting, yes.
Yes. Well, have you ever heard of an anime with inconsistent voice acting quality?
Yes. I would say during the early anime adaptations.
I meant modern day. I meant modern.
More modern day. Well, what do you think you had in mind to say about it?
Well, let's just say. How do I put this? The voice acting was one of the worst things I've ever heard. Some characters were too low. Some characters had. I swear, they were talking like this. Can you barely hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
They were talking like this. Yes.
Oh my.
There was this one character who was a half goat, half man. I'll try to talk really low like this. You can barely hear him.
Mm-hmm.
Was he doing his takes at a local library?
I made the joke that they basically did in the garage. I made this little bet to myself, and I'm going to repeat it here, so in case if this show somehow gets a season 2, I'm going to review 2 animes I'm not going to enjoy.
Oh.
Well, may God have mercy on your soul.
And you know what those 2 animes are? 2 of them, which I'm glad I didn't watch, but I'm going to have to.
Oh.
Redo of Healer and Monster Go reviewers.
Oh, yikes.
Yep. Putting my foot to the fire for this one, boys.
Well, something's going to be burning.
Yes, it'll be my sanity. There's a
stick in the moth.
Yes, before I forget, a little on topic. That somehow Redo of the Healer is getting season 2 this year.
Oh, really?
Liked it a lot.
You liked it?
No, I said I guess people liked it a lot.
I don't know why. I'm not that. Unless somehow Spice gets a second season, which I highly doubt.
I think people are depraved, so I think that's why stuff like this happens. But
Anyway, let's move on to something a little more positive. We have one more thing to talk about.
Yes. It'll be something more our territory, more Dark Souls territory.
Which has been kind of sad because this has happened to not one game I like, but this has now happened twice. The first one being Titanfall 2. For a little catch up, Titanfall 2 has been hit by hackers. And so basically making the online playing basically impossible. I tried playing it a few times. I couldn't get past even the first 2 minutes. But anyway.
I'm just going to say about this whole situation. Like, see, in most games, whenever a hacker gets a hold of something like this, like, I know this happened in, like, New World and stuff like that. Like, you know, it just becomes, like, an absolute crapshoot. But can we just say, like, I want to give a round of applause for the Souls community because a benevolent hacker was the one who discovered this and brought it up. Like, think about how, like, convenient and lucky we are as a community. Like, this could have been.
I'm so happy for this community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If a malicious person discovered this, this would have been an absolute nightmare. But because the dude had a good heart and said, hey, this is what could be abused. And I don't want to abuse this, so I want to show what can happen. And then that got From Software's attention. Like, think about that. Like, that's amazing that we have such a community that is willing to band together to do the right thing and not abuse it.
Anyway.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
It's a real shame people will still so low just to cheat and abuse stuff. But
yeah, so let's read this article.
Yeah, but good thing you brought that up, Green.
Thanks,
That's such a good thing to talk about.
Yeah, it actually lightened up the mood quite a bit.
So the article here says that Dark Souls PC online servers are down following the reports of a security issue. So Bandai Namco has been forced to shutter the PC PvP servers for all Dark Souls games following recent reports of an issue with online servers. While console servers are currently remained unaffected, so PS4 and Xbox.
PS4, PS5, Xbox One, blah blah blah, all fine.
It's not the same exploit maybe possible via From Software's Elden Ring PC servers too. Oh, but it's going to affect Elden Ring as well. Oh, no.
I thought the point... this is not good for us because let's face it, one of the first things we always try to do in a new FromSoft game is always try to play the online thing, right? We just want to see what it's like with PvE or PvP.
Usually I'm more of a PvE my guy myself, but that's probably because I grew up playing Skyrim.
Yeah, same.
But I totally understand with the whole PvP servers. So the article here states the PvP servers for Dark Souls 3, 2, and Dark Souls Remastered have been temporarily deactivated to allow the team to investigate recent reports of an issue with online services. A brief notice on series official social media channel stated earlier today. Servers for Dark Souls PTDE, or Prepare to Die Edition, will join them shortly. We apologize for this inconvenience. So,
yep, same thing.
While the publisher stops short of specifying what the issue specifically is, players are pointing to posts on the Elden Ring subreddit that states it is now possible for Dark Souls 3 invaders to run code on your PC without permission, aka RCE, which is remote code execution. This same hack is possible in Elden Ring.
I'm so glad that when FromSoft did this, they just shut down the server saying, this is something we don't want for our community. Because unlike other game communities, I feel like From knows how to take care of its community.
Yes, From Software knows exactly what they're doing. And all the more power to them, but it's such a shame that this stuff is happening.
These hackers, they always know how to ruin everybody else's fun, because either they're not good at the game. Oh, come on. The same guy who's been hacking the Titanfall servers is terrible at the game. I'm somewhat decent at the games because I played it a lot. So I'm somewhat decent at the games. But the fact is, if you're not good at the games, maybe it's not your... Don't blame the game, blame your lack of skill.
Yeah, get good, bro.
No, that's all right, Henry. You know, despite the ups and downs of the Souls community, you gotta admit it's just basically it's a really interesting... complex one, isn't it?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, when I got my ass handed to me on Dark Souls, I didn't resort to hacking and such because one, that's just a cheap way of doing it, and that's not even going to do anything. That's just going to leave you with an empty victory. There's nothing earned in that.
Are you quoting that guy who I hacked Sekiro so Ishin was like
Maybe. I'm so glad someone got that reference.
Yeah. Okay. Raise your hands. Who? Raise your hands if you defeated Ishin.
Me.
I mean, you know, I hate to break it to you, but I fought Ishin so many times. I flawless him. He's not even fun anymore. Like even inner Ishin, Al's where it's at.
I'll tell you, the first time you were fighting Ishin, my God.
It was utter hell.
Oh, and who can forget the fire demon?
No, Fire Ishin. Fire Ishin. Look, I can deal with normal Ishin, but on that ending, he's his own monster.
Yep. So the RCE hacks enable unscrupulous players to hack and take control of opponents' PC. Thanks The Verge, and was reportedly discovered when a streamer fell victim to the hack whilst live streaming. May he rest in peace. The hacker purports they'd tried to contact From Software about the vulnerability, but received no response, so felt their only recourse was to target live streamers on air. Well, that must have gotten their attention, but I feel like there could have been a better way, but nevertheless, good job bringing attention to it. So right now, there's no word on when servers may be restored, so keep an eye on the Dark Souls social media channels for the latest information.
And there goes our fun for a while, eh?
Yep, tried so hard to get online Dark Souls 2 just now, and it just says servers are down.
Mm-hmm. So basically, our fun is gone for a while on the PC. You still play Dark Souls 2?
Yeah, I still play Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2 is beginning a resurgence, apparently, if you haven't noticed.
Why? Yeah. It's the worst of this. Okay, I understand if you like it, but we have to agree it's not the best.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the worst. It's definitely worse. But I guess the reason why is I played Dark Souls 3 and 1 so many times, I'm just like, I might as well just give 2 another chance. And well, I mean, I gotta say, hated how much you want. The graphics in it are fucking amazing, but graphics alone are not enough to make a good game. I do respect that.
I always thought the graphics were kind of sketchy compared to the first one.
Yeah, that is true. At times, yeah.
I'm going to have to agree with Darc on it. I think people got burned out on the other game, so might as well pull up the other one. That was one reason.
You mean that one? The one the game that shall not be named?
Yeah.
2, also, I believe there was a PC fan patch that was released that removed the soul memory restrictions.
Yeah.
So I think that was also a huge boom. Well, but they had to pull it down for maintenance. But other than that, I think that was also a thing.
I will continue to say the soul memory was the stupidest thing they could have ever put in a Souls game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, so let me go over the whole thing with soul memory, because I was actually reflecting on this, right? Okay, so they put in soul memory in the game because they wanted to combat essentially twink builds. Because if you kill enough people low level, you will get enough souls, so you won't be able to fight twinks. Fight low levels with your twink build. Okay, that was the goal. But here's what happened: people get there. There's a ring in the game, so it absorbs your soul. So what's the point of the twink mechanic if there's a ring that absorbs your soul, so you can just twink forever anyway? You see.
I'm so glad that then again, it was Miyazaki's evil twin that did the game, so...
Yes, his evil twin who ruined the world with his product.
Oh, come on. You know the whole thing with the whole Dark Souls thing.
Yeah, I know.
You know that 2 is for the community has always been the most freaking divisive. Some people say people who hate it haven't played it. I have.
Yeah, I mean, there's a points where I do hate the game because it doesn't feel Dark Souls to me. If anything, it feels like more of a Mortal Shell game. I
feel like the problem is that we can agree that the Dark Souls games have had some of the most questionable hitboxes, but we gotta admit, 3 and Bloodborne had some of the best hitboxes of the series. We can agree.
Yes.
But 2. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, not gonna argue. They're solid. The only thing that I would say with Souls games is, especially with, you see this apparently with PE, but the players' hitboxes are actually kind of obnoxiously large, though.
Yeah,
you notice PvP, not really PvE.
Which is Dark Souls 1?
intrude on something about speaking of hitboxes? Anyone else hate the ogre's hitboxes in Dark Souls 2, or is it just me?
My goodness, I was playing Dark Souls 2 yesterday, and I got grabbed by the ogre. He did the grab and it touched 5 feet in front of my toes, and it teleported me to the grab, and I got eaten. I was like, wow.
I was like, I didn't know this ogre had telekinesis.
People say, "Oh, you're just hating on the game because you don't like it." I hate the fact I hate the game. Paradoxically,
Good way of putting it.
Like literally standing across the continent, and the mimic opens its mouth and grabs you and pulls you back to it. It's who designed the mimic hitboxes is.
Gonna be. But there's also the fact that I hate I've repeated this so many times, and I really wish I was here when Maddie said remember with Maddie the cosplayer we were on our podcast.
Yes.
I really wish I kind of told her that I hate the fact I hate Dark Souls 2.
You want to love it.
I want to like it. It's a Dark Souls game. I want to like it.
Don't get me wrong, some of the stuff is amazing. I mean, I liked how it did bring, I would say, the chaos flame into it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm always willing for diversion within a story, but it just didn't feel Dark Souls. It just didn't feel earned to me. It just felt different. It just felt like it just shifted away from it.
I guarantee if this game was called Lord of the Land of the Dead or some generic title, we wouldn't be even talking about it, would we?
Exactly.
It would just be a Dark Souls clone. It wasn't made by From. It would have been considered a good game.
Because it was. Oh, speaking of good games, remember Lords of the Fallen? The first attempt as a Souls clone.
Lords of the Fallen. Mm-hmm.
I know this wasn't part of the plan, but put in Lords of the Fallen 2. Google that.
All right, Lords of the. Oh, hold on. Lords of the Fallen 2.
Breaking Beyblade the whole entire game. I'll be happy. That's literally all I want.
Yep, there's a new Lords of the Fallen coming this year.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Lords of the Fallen 2.
Who has thought of Lords of the Fallen till now? I certainly haven't thought of that game since it first came out. Oh, don't close that, otherwise it's going to play some music and we can't copyright strike.
I know. I was trying to find the exit.
Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna get this game when it's $4 on the store, like I did the first time around. Even then, I still felt cheated.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
I'll probably do the same as well.
Dead 13 just can't seem to get the whole Souls-like, can it?
Yeah, they really can't.
Okay, they tried a sci-fi Souls, Surge 1 and 2, but they were kind of meh, from what I hear.
Look, yeah, which is a real shame because Star Wars Fallen Order was so much better.
I will defend Fallen Order. I actually played that a few months ago, and I was like, I'm actually impressed with this work here. EA, good job.
I think they only take a risk with a Souls-like because it's Star Wars. Had it been any other IP, they wouldn't have funded it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
now don't forget it. It's EA. They make one good game. They make a whole batch. They make a whole batch of bad games. And you know how it is.
Yeah.
See, my only gripe with Jedi Fallen Order was that you spent all this effort to get the collectible loot, and it's just colors for your poncho color. I was like, come on, guys.
Speaking of which, also the sabers aren't the lightsabers feel from what I see sticks, not powerful sabers.
Someone hit a stormtrooper but doesn't kill him. It just makes a slash mark on their. Okay, yeah. It doesn't.
Which is a real shame because anyone else remember Star Wars The Force Unleashed? The lightsaber mechanics on there actually felt kind of because remember how you would slice it and there would be limbs falling off of every single stormtrooper.
Oh wait, this is Disney, so it has to be friendly.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Thanks, mouse.
It's been a staple in most Star Wars games that there's dismemberment.
Oh, you want dismemberment? Well, I don't think so.
If they had charged extra for dismemberment, I would have laughed. But that would have been an EA move, though.
Pay $50 for dismemberment DLC included.
It should have, look, they didn't even have to show blood. They could have just basically shown that, maybe when the lightsaber hits, it just clogs up it just Still shut
You
the
know, it
wound.
cauterizes the wound.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's what Star Wars Episode 3 did.
Mhm.
Oh my god, Star Wars! You're talking about the PS2, Xbox 360 game. Like that was one of the best games ever.
Oh, yeah.
Our movie tie-in game was pretty decent.
Literally playing as Samuel Jackson. He just sitting there roasting everybody like an enraged black man. I was like, this is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. This is it. This is actually it. This is amazing.
This is peak right here. Like, I'm not even like joking. Like, that's the sad thing about it. That game was legit fun. I played like hundreds of hours just like with my friends. We'd just be fighting. Like, versus great. Star Wars, I don't know why we don't have movie. Okay, the only other movie tie-in games. Okay, there's a few. The Lion Witch of the Wardrobe game, actually pretty good. The Lord of the Rings, not the what was it? Not the Fellowship of the Ring, but the Twin Towers and the Return of the King. Those movie tie-in games were phenomenal. Does anyone else know any? Oh, I guess, does Lego Star Wars count? Because Lego Star Wars is all movies.
You can count
Oh,
that.
well, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Anyone else remember that? Just how great that was.
I kind of honestly, it's just that the Lego games have always been kind of funny. I like the old ones because they just emote basically to show the comedy instead of speaking. I don't know. Maybe I grew up on some of the old Star Wars games.
Yeah, I grew up on the old Lego stuff. I guess now they're just a parody of themselves, which is such a shame.
Mhm.
Modern Lego games are. It's kind of sad. It's unfortunate. Rest in peace, old Lego.
TT Fusion. I don't know how to think about TT Fusion. They've never been They've been meh in my eyes.
Bruh, Bionicle needs to come out of the shadows and do something.
I actually haven't thought of Bionicles for almost a decade at this point.
Bionicles. That is a franchise I have never heard in a long, long time. Anyone else remember Mask of Light, the movie?
Yes, the Bionicle.
The Toa, the Golden Mask. That was such a good thing. I remember all the tribes too. My favorite were the cave ones with all the vampires and ghouls and shit.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Bionicles need to come out of the shadows and be like, yeah, we've been waiting for a long time to reveal ourselves. Like,
it doesn't make him as much money as Lego, let's be frank.
It's not about making as much money as Lego. It's making a statement.
I think, to me, it was making a goddamn good story and a goddamn good product. But apparently, the good product did not make enough money as they wanted to, so apparently it flopped.
Here's a quick question. Here's a quick, funny solution for TT Fusion. Lego Souls-like.
Oh, boy.
Hold on. So let me think about this for a second. So like say like they take the Dark Souls universe and Legoify it, or they just like put like Souls difficulty in like Lego games.
Take Dark Souls and turn it to Lego.
Let me think about. Okay, there's a few things I know that's gonna happen. I'm just imagining all the boss cutscenes. Remember when Ornstein and Smo, what was it, Ornstein jumped?
Oh my god!
Like, jumps off, like, and they had to put them back together before the boss fight.
Yeah, I imagine just Smo just breaks down right in front of, and Ornstein's like, "Oh shit!" and then he just rebuilds them and shit. Oh, that'd be funny.
I like. For me, I always like trying to get people into the Souls series. I know it's not for everyone, and people always make the claim, no, it's too difficult. Get good, scrub.
Here's my response. Get good, bruh.
That's our favorite response in the entire Souls community, isn't it? Get good.
Look, here's the thing about Souls games. They're not really all that hard. There's only two things you really need to know about a Souls game. One, know how to press circle at the right time.
Yes.
And use your brain. Think about if you were in this situation. So, like, what would you do if you saw a giant monster over there? Would you A, charge it and then be upset that it kills you? B, use the environment or use something else to kill it? So, I mean, use your mind and just know when to press the circle button. Like, if you don't do
paranoid.
Yeah, be paranoid. Like, that's literally all you need, and then you should be fine.
Oh, my favorite. Yeah. So,
Warning, being paranoid may actually not make the game any more fun. You should probably talk to a psychologist.
Could you actually look up when Breath of the... Oh, I know this is a little late, but remember when Elden Ring won Most Anticipated Game of the Year twice in a row?
I do. So what would you like me to look up really quick?
One more thing. When is Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 coming out?
Zelda Breath.
There it is.
Huh.
Don't play the trailer. I'll get a copyright strike from Nintendo.
All right, I'm not going to be playing that. No. So I'll be going on this website right here.
I know they said it's coming out sometime this year.
So the article here states that The Legend of Breath of the Wild 2 is one of the most hotly anticipated games in the world right now.
I think
I think I'd beg to differ on that.
I think people forget. I think they didn't realize that, Elden Ring got it twice in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because besides, you can jump.
Close that.
Oh, it's not playing any music.
Okay.
Pokemon.
Nope. Okay, let's not tempt fate. I don't want to cause more problems.
Don't worry. I got it under control.
Anyway.
So, it says, despite being more than 2 years removed from the initial teaser trailer that announced the game, Nintendo has offered few details regarding what's coming in Breath of the Wild 2. This has many fans asking, when is Breath of the Wild 2 coming out, with no real answer from the company. So, there is still information out there regarding the next Legend of the Zelda title, as well as what the state of the game might be in. Here's everything we know about when the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out. And it goes down here that the Nintendo has he's indicated that Breath of the Wild 2 will come out in 2022. Oh, so this year.
I did say this year.
So, all right, let me see. Updates on everything.
I don't think they're announced.
Oh, here's something. For the sake of comparison, Elden Ring is another open-world action game that was announced at the same time. On November 4th, From Software released a game trailer that shows a largely complete game or version of the game. Shortly thereafter, this was followed by a closed network test that let players test out the game. Elden Ring is set to come out in February 2022, which I am very excited for. While Elden Ring has had a full gameplay reveal and looks like to be in the final stages of development, nothing has been shown to believe that Breath of the Wild 2 is in a similar state. It's possible that Nintendo has the game in a workable state, but the publisher has several other major first-party and third-party releases lined up for the first half of 2022, so it may not feel the need to push Breath of the Wild 2 out any earlier.
And I also have a sneaking suspicion, my own, is that okay? If Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring came out at the same month, there's gonna be a huge competition, right? Like seriously.
Oh yes. I'm on Team Elden Ring. What about y'all?
I'm Team Elden Ring too. And
I'm on Team Hogwarts. That
10 points to Gryffindor.
yes, we can just say we can be just glad that From is actually finally releasing the new magnum opus. And I can't wait for the whole blimmin' internet to complain. It needs an easy mode. Yes, go off, I say to all of you.
Here's the thing about Elden Ring. Like, and this is the thing. Oh, they need an easy mode. There already is easy mode. There's several easy modes. One, look at guides on how to cheese. Everything is cheesable to like an obnoxious extent. B, summon like 5 of your friends to like Rolo stomp everything for you.
And C is something that's a big massive of water. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Oh yeah, here's my response. Get good.
Anyway.
Yeah, get good. How to press the circle button. Like, let's...
Anyway,
you know how to operate a controller there, Mr. Game Player?
I certainly do. I have 2 of them. Anyway, I think, gentlemen, I think this will be a good time to end it on a good note of Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild. Don't you think so?
Yes.
So, I appreciate you guys popping onto the stream, and I'm glad to do the podcast. First one of the year. Glad. So, would have done it. Done it earlier, but I was a lot busy during these few weeks. And you were busy last week too. So I'm glad that we finally got the podcast done and we've talked about it. We'll be hopefully having more Souls news, not just of From games, but hopefully new Souls likes.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, tomorrow is the last day of January, and then Tuesday it will be The month of February, where Elden Ring will soon be released on what day?
Anyway, we'll wait for that day.
Yep.
Anyway, I appreciate everybody who's joining us. If you enjoyed it, do check my channel down below. I put the link to my review of High Guardian Spice in the description below, so that way, don't have to worry. So that way you don't have to go looking for it. So if you enjoyed it, thank you. I appreciate it to my co-host for joining me again. Hopefully Rodriguez won't ban me, won't block me on Twitter.
Well, even if she does, just take it as a grain of salt. Some people just need time to de-stress and such.
So I appreciate it for those who've joined. I hope everybody has a good week, and can't wait for Elden Ring.
Yes, neither can I. Ooh, boy.
It's like it's like a big game anticipation for all of us. So again, thank you for joining, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.